Well, the busy month of May is rapidly coming to a close, and it's been a busy month of ministry. We got Detroit here next weekend that'll just kind of finally get it back where we can get in a normal rhythm. So in honor of that and Indianapolis Motor Speedway, I kind of set up this shot here with these flowers in the foreground just to pay tribute to the Indy 500 and how important of a race that is to the series, to all of us, and just what a fond place it has in our hearts. With that being said, going to dig into Luke chapter 6, verse 17 today. And the overarching theme, I mean, Jason's message last week and the message I gave at the track this weekend, we're talking about doing more than resting on our salvation with our faith. We're called to action. We're called to produce fruit in this world while we're here. And this verse, I think, is a great segue after that because it might deal with some of the feelings with doing that. So I'm going to share the verse with you first, then come back and discuss some thoughts on it. It says, when they came down from the mountain, the disciples stood with Jesus on a large level area, surrounded by many of his followers and by the crowds. There were people from all over Judea and from Jerusalem and as far north as the sea coast of Tyre and Sidon. The thing that jumped out at me right away is, Jesus just put this group together. These people are following him, but not yet, you might say, officially. They've just seen him do some awesome stuff. And Jesus here has handpicked the 12 that are going to go with him to work in this world and going to continue that work after he's gone. I mean, as Jason talked about last week, these are the people who are responsible for us even knowing about any of this today. They were called by Jesus into action, and so they're about to start that. So imagine that. You come down the mountain with Jesus, and all of a sudden, it says they stood with Jesus. I love that in more ways than one, but here we'll talk about this way first. First, they're just standing with him, looking out over this, you might say, sea of people that came to see Jesus, and this is where it gets real. This is where they're going to say, oh my gosh, God, what have you called me to? This is where they might have those feelings of insufficiency. Yeah, Jesus is right there, but there's 12 of them now. They're expected to do stuff. It's not like they can just follow him and say, oh, him, which Jesus is going to do stuff, and they are going to point to Jesus, which is important. But they're expected to learn and carry on after he's gone. And that's just like us. When we're called to serve, we're expected to do things on our own. Take initiative, you might say. And a lot of times it's intimidating. You may not, get up in front of a crowd or whatever, but you're going to be called out of your comfort zone. Guaranteed. As we talked about the track this weekend, following Jesus isn't always easy. It's going to be pushing you. It's a struggle. It's going to take you places. Your walk with Jesus is going to take you places that, quite honestly, are going to make you very uncomfortable. But the important thing goes back to that phrase I said earlier. They stood with Jesus, and Jesus stood with them. That's important to remember. No matter what we do, Jesus is right there with us. If he's calling us to do something, he's going to be there supporting us through it. He'll give us whatever we need. But that first step in faith, the first step in confidence, knowing he's going to do that, is a very uncomfortable step. And that's where a lot of people quit. And they say, I can't do it. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. No. Well, you know what? Jesus is calling you to do it. He's going to be with you through it. And that's exactly what this verse is saying. And like I said, going back to that mental picture of just standing there looking over this vast crowd of people and saying, oh, man, now I got to put my belief into action. And just know that Jesus is always going to be with you in the struggle. He's just looking for you to take that first step, and he's going to support you through it. So I just want to encourage you, get uncomfortable. Take that step of obedience. Go out and serve the world and produce fruit. We will catch you next week on Wednesday Wisdom. Have a great week.